Hey everybody, Paul Vaillancourt here, back with day 26 of the 30 pitches in 30 days project. We're in the home stretch now, which is a few more pitches. Today's pitch, I came up with a totally new, different way that I haven't been doing. No, I didn't use the cards today. I know I've been using the cards a lot, but I didn't use the cards today. I used something else that I had, which was on the Save the Cat website, is a screenplay idea game where you sort of plug and play and sort of come up with an idea. So that's what I use. I will put the link in the description down below so you can check it out and try it for yourself. See if you like it. I talked about how I use the cards, ding ding, in this video here. Hopefully that's helping if you're trying that out. But today I have a new pitch that I really rather like. I think it's pretty exciting that I may end up writing. It's called Ramesh-A. Ramesh-A. And it basically goes like this. We open in a big city with lots of people hustling and bustling back and forth in like shops and like almost like a cross between like a city and a bazaar. It's like very crowded. It's in the near future, right? And this young man is like running through the crowd, and there's an older guy sort of running after him. And the older guy is keeping pace, but not for long. He's really struggling to keep up with this kid who's clearly shows no sign of stopping. Finally, the older guy draws his gun and fires and hits the kid in the shoulder, and it doesn't stop him. Doesn't really even slow him down. Just tears off a huge section of synthetic skin, and we see that underneath he is a robot. And he spins around. He sort of goes down below the level of the crowd, and then he kind of disappears. And the guy who's following him, our guy, Detective Douglas Knudsen, has lost him. So he radios through his wrist holographic communicator to his partner, Ramesh Kumal, and says, "Hey, I lost the guy, and I don't know where he's going." Ramesh says, I'm circling around to find you. I'll catch you on the other side. Here's what I want you to do. Cross-reference my position with the security cameras and all the other security data in the area, and let me know what you see and what's going on. Be my eyes. Ramesh hangs up, and he's running. Douglas is old for a cop, and he is letting the times pass him by, and he's really struggling with this idea of cross-referencing this and this computer that and whatever. He's really great at police work, like actual detecting and stuff, but this is not his strength. And he says there's no time for that, he says to himself, and then he takes off running after the kid. Not doing that, though, ends up leaving Ramesh blind. And he is sort of working his way through the crowd until finally he finds the guy. He happens upon the guy, but he's surprised, and this robot gets the jump on him and kills him. And then not only does it kill him, but as Douglas pulls around the corner and sees this horrifying scene of his partner being killed, the robot throws himself into basically a trash grinder that just rips him into his tiniest component parts. And Douglas rushes to Ramesh, but it's too late. He's dead. The next part is a montage where we see everything that's happened to Douglas since then. We see his disciplinary hearing where he was cleared but put on probation for a while. He has to ride a desk. We see Ramesh's funeral with his wife and kids. They are furious at him and beside themselves, and they love him because they've known him for so long, but they really don't. They can't be happy with what he did, so they're a little bit upset about that. And then we see Douglas riding a desk. This is certainly not what he's good at. Paperwork and all this kind of stuff. This is not the part of the job that he signed up for or that he's good at. And we also see him in therapy. He's working through his issues. And we land on this, and this is sort of like the final scene of the montage where we see the therapist tell him, "Look, you are a miserable bastard, but generally okay. I'm going to recommend they reconsider you for field duty." He's thrilled. He leaves. He's thrilled. Later on, his captain calls him into his office and tells him, "Look, man, I talked to the therapist. He's recommending you for field duty once again. But the problem is that I'm stuck. You are one of my best detectives. I would love to have you back in the field, but after what happened with Ramesh, no one wants to work with you. No one trusts you. So there's really only one way that I can put you back into the field, and that is with a new partner, a robot partner." Douglas is like, "What are you talking about? A robot killed my last partner. How am I going to possibly have a robot as a partner?" And the captain says, "Look, this is the only way it's going to work. This is the only thing I can do. You have so much experience to bring. This robot will learn so much from you. Your knowledge and your sort of police, acumen will live on. But that's the only way. Otherwise, I have to keep you on a desk because I can't send you out without a partner." Just then the door swings open and the robot partner comes in, and it is an exact replica of a young Ramesh, basically kind of when they started together. He looks young and fresh and wide-eyed and ready to go. And since he is a robot and not a person, his signifier is Ramesh-A for artificial. Ramesh-A. Thus the title of the movie, Ramesh-A. And immediately Douglas is furious. I can't believe, why would you do this? And it's because the guys in the lab thought it would be easier for you to relate to someone that you sort of know already than someone you didn't know. And he's just furious, but he accepts it because he wants to get back in the field so much. He wants to find the guy that's responsible for his partner's death. So he takes the robot, who he is completely mean to, and they go to their first stop, which is basically it's like a cross between like a trash area and a morgue for robots. And they find some of the component pieces, but they're all, they talk to the guy who works there, and basically, and Ramesh scans the pieces as well, and all the hardware seems to be intact. It really seems to be some sort of software issue. As they're driving around, Douglas gives Ramesh basically the "we're not partners" talk from 48 Hours, but to a robot, and tells him, "Look, you are not a person to me. You are not a partner to me. You are a tool to me, like a car or a gun or whatever." And that's all there is to it. So you just remember that. And Ramesh is a robot. He just kind of goes along with it, and he's sort of, okay, whatever. And so as these two get to know each other more and sort of dig deeper into their relationship, as they're sort of trying to track down the who or what is behind this murder spree of robots, we see them really testing out the rules of robotics. That a robot can't hurt a person, it can't hurt itself unless that conflicts with the first rule, and it can't, I think, sort of hurt someone else unless it sort of conflicts with the first, second rule. So, but basically we see them going to the firing range, and Ramesh-A is a fantastic crack shot, just perfect, like a machine. Perfect shot. And we see him, sort of like, then they're in the field and they're engaging some guys, and Douglas is trying to shoot them, and Ramesh-A isn't. He can't. He's shooting all around them. He's threatening them. He's driving them back a little bit, but he's not shooting them because he can't, because of the rules of robotics. Also, but he can shoot like a steam pipe. He can shoot like a rope that makes something swing and hit them. He can do a lot of things, but he just can't shoot them. That's it. And then also we see that he has a certain drive towards self-preservation. So at one point, Douglas tells him to just throw himself out there to draw fire. And he can't do that either. And so there's like a whole discussion between them. What can you do? What use are you versus an actual partner? Like, and they sort of try to figure out what is his value to Douglas and this sort of thing. Finally, they find out that the who is behind this is a hacker terrorist who's basically sort of invented a virus that he can sort of, like, one robot at a time upload, and it basically overrides all their rules of robotics, and sort of really gets deep into the firmware underneath all the programming, and allows him to sort of call the shots. They can kill people, they can destroy themselves, all these basic things that we thought robots couldn't do. This virus allows them / makes them do those things. So they find out who this guy is, and they go to pick him up. But when they get there, that guy's dead. And he wasn't killed by a robot. They find out from the crime scene between Douglas's detecting and Ramesh-A's sort of scanning of the area, they figure out that he was killed by another person. In fact, it was his friend, his programming partner, who felt like this guy was getting all the credit, and he wanted the credit for himself. They start off on the same mission, and it sort of diverged a little bit as it's gone on, and now this guy wants credit for himself. He wants to make everything bigger. In fact, he's taken the virus and he's mutated it so he can put it on a big server and send it out to a bunch of robots at a time, thus really sort of undermining the basic confidence and sort of in robots, and basically making himself an army. And that's really what he's done. Where he's going to go, or he's already on his way to, is police headquarters. At police headquarters, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of robots. A few of the very sophisticated A strain that Ramesh-A, they're basically artificial people, right? They're almost indistinguishable from people. Then there's ones that are sort of anthropomorphic, but basically just sort of robot ones. Then there's ones that are like bomb disposal robots that are like boxes on tank treads with electronic arms, and then there's drones, and there's a few different kinds of robots there, and he's going to have control of all of them. So they, Ramesh-A and Douglas, rush over to the police station just in time to get inside before it goes on total lockdown. Now they're fighting their way through an army of police robots, getting some policemen to help them along the way, but they are quickly overwhelmed by the sheer force that these robots can generate. But eventually they get to the main server area, and they find this guy, and they stop him, and they kill him. And they are able to isolate the virus in just this server room, and it seems like the day is saved until out of nowhere, out of the corner of the room, a tiny drone comes and boom, bangs right into Ramesh-A and infects him with the virus. He turns on Douglas and goes after him. He's not using his gun, but he is using his hands, which are strong, and the robot hands are very strong. And he comes after him, and Douglas is trying to get away. We see that he's formed an attachment to Ramesh-A because he can't shoot him. It's not that easy for him to shoot him. In fact, he finally remembers something that Ramesh told him sort of in confidence, that he had a hitchy shoulder and he needed to go in for repairs, but they were so busy that he was trying to make the appointment and so and so and so. But it's something that like one friend would tell another friend in confidence. He wouldn't want anyone else to know, but he told his friend. And Douglas uses that he fires, hits him in his hitchy shoulder, knocks him down, is able to sort of overcome him and sort of pin him down. And then the two of them have a very sort of touching personal moment where Ramesh-A takes Douglas's hand and helps him remove the data core, which is basically the brain of the robot. Helps him remove it, which will basically shut him down, and it'll sort of contain the virus. And Douglas doesn't want to do it. He's like, oh, well, if I remove your data core, then we don't know what's going to happen, if you're going to totally disappear, or if you'll be able to reboot or whatever. And Ramesh-A assures him that there's no other way to do it, and that he's really enjoyed learning from him and being his partner. And Douglas echoes his sentiment back. He's like, yeah, I never thought I would, but it's like thanking a wrench, but you're my favorite wrench. And we were good together. Eventually, boom, he removes the data core. Ramesh-A powers down. His eyes go dark. We come back to Douglas's office in the police station, and he's getting things together, and the door swings open, and Ramesh-A comes through the door. He's looking brand new, completely sparkly fresh. He has that fresh look on his face of when they started working together, and Douglas is so excited to see him, and he rushes to him, but then Ramesh-A is like, I assume that you are Douglas Knudsen, Detective Douglas Knudsen. I'm here as your... And we see that Ramesh-A hasn't rebooted. His data was erased. He's basically back to his factory settings, and the friend that Douglas made is gone. But Douglas is disappointed. He's a little heartbroken, but he takes it in stride, and he invites him in, and they start going over the basics of police work. He's really nice to him now. He sort of almost like he's taking in Ramesh-A's son, and he's like sort of taking him into the family business, and they get a certain amount into it, and Douglas is very nice, sort of leading him along. And then Ramesh-A says, oh, I should tell you that I'm just fucking with you. I'm totally fine. And then Douglas can't believe it. He laughs. They're so excited. They embrace as friends, and that is the end. That's a movie I call Ramesh-A. Ramesh-A. And that's day 26. I'll be back here tomorrow for day 27. Thanks for watching.